Hey everyone, I'm Jack Hammer. Today I wanted to go ahead and take you all through Mac Jones and Alabama versus Mississippi State. This is actually going to be the sixth game of the 2020 season for Alabama and Mac Jones. This will be their second game of the season without Jalen Waddle. So let's go ahead and go through this. As we're going through this one, you're going to see in this game there's a lot of more vertical concepts out of Alabama. You see that a lot with them. They're known, or you've seen a lot, I should say, with regards to Mac Jones and the amount of yards and completions, the percentage being, I think, around 34% of his passes being completed behind the line of scrimmage. And there's definitely that screen concept and portion of the Alabama offense. Today we're going to see a little bit of that, but we're also going to see their vertical passing game come out. As you're taking a look at that, let's keep a watch on Mac Jones and his deep ball ability or struggles, both of which are going to show up in this game as we go through it. So let's just go ahead and jump into it so it doesn't take too long. Try to keep this to under an hour. They're going to come out on first down here, and they're going to run the ball, so we'll just fast forward through that. That's going to be a nice running play here on first down. They gain about 8. It's going to set them up with 2nd and 2. And then here on 2nd and 2, what you're going to get the elite concept. We've seen this out of the 49ers quite a bit, where they try to leak one of these guys through to the backside over here. And you're going to see that they're actually going to be doing that with the halfback again. They're going to play action, and they're going to try to get him running a vertical on the outside, kind of like a wheel to the sideline and up. And then one of these tight ends is going to be coming across the formation as well and replacing and becoming like a check down flat receiver out here on the right side. So we're going to see Jones with the play action. He's going to roll to his right. He's going to try to hit that leak deep down the right sidelines to Harris. Who's well covered, and so he needs to check it down to the running back, the tight end who's coming across. Easy pitch and catch, easy throw. Good job of recognizing that the coverage is there on the leak to the running back, and then having to check it down to his tight end. So they're able to get a nice little completion there, about 10 yards. Easy pitch and catch, easy throw. Nice little breakdown there for the offense and the way they run that. So then next thing we're going to get is here on 1st and 10. We're going to be getting a flood concept down here to the bottom of the screen. We're going to be getting the deep route, and then you're going to see an out with the I can't remember for sure if it's going to be the tight end or the running back that's going to eventually come out into the flat. What's going to happen though? Let's watch it. You're going to see that there's going to be one-on-one. The safety starts to step down towards the line of scrimmage before the ball snapped. Here on the logo. He's only about 5 yards up. And at that point, you can tell that it's going to be that they're going to be having man coverage. They're bringing a blitz here. They've got 5 guys coming. And Jones has the deep ball, and he hits just a little underthrown. This is about as far as Jones is going to throw the ball. I haven't seen him throw a ball more than 50 yards on any of his film. And that's about how far this one goes downfield. It's a nice read off of against this blitz and against this coverage. He has this man wide open. He has the man open deep. He just underthrows it a little bit. The defender's able to catch up to it, and they get the break of a pass interference call on this one. A quick little hitch up, and that's about as far as he's going to get that ball out there. So instead of having the big shot, they get the play action. Play action. They get the pass interference. They get a 15-yard gain. A little bit unfortunate there. It's a really nice read. He's looking there. He sees the one-on-one. He has it because of that safety stepping up and just underthrown slightly. And then you get a run here on first down, gives them another first. So we take it to 1st and 10 here. What you're going to get the motion across. You're going to end up with this receiver is running a deep post. So is this one. And then over here on the backside, this guy's going to be running an over route. You're going to see it's pretty well covered. And he's going to throw this deep post in the middle. And this ball is really just a throwaway. There's no way that guy's going to get there. It's all well covered up. And he's just getting this ball out and into a spot where there's not going to be a negative play. Just well covered. There wasn't anywhere for him to go. He doesn't have the athletic ability to scramble in that situation. Or he might be able to, but he's really not going to get too far anyway. And so they shut him down. Then here we get 2nd and 10. You're going to see a play action with an RPO out to the left side. There you go. There's a hold on the slant. That hold it makes for the inaccurate throw because the receiver is being held up. So on this possession already, you've got a pass interference and now a holding call. Here on 1st and 10, they try a little jet sweep. We've seen them run this quite a bit. 49ers do this in 2020, like we talked about with Deebo Samuel and Brandon Aiyuk to a smaller extent. And they lose 6 yards here on 1st down. So that's going to set them up on 2nd and 16. You're going to see out of this one, you're going to get on this backside, you're going to get a little bend route across. This guy's going to run a little bit deeper. They're showing pressure up at the line of scrimmage, and then you're also going to get a drag coming across. The receiver is going to go in motion back here. Oh, sorry, wrong one. But he comes up underneath. It's actually a bench route. I was thinking of another play that's going to be showing up later on. So you're getting, this one's the bench. So you're going to get low cross. This guy's running a curl to about right here. And then you get the other man running the drag across on the bench from the other side. That's where he's going to go. Gets it to him, and nice little run after the catch. Just kind of keeps running across the field away from the pursuers. Gained 7 on this one and pick up a little bit of the yards they lost. Pick up the yards they lost on the 1st down play plus another one, so it's going to set them up with a 3rd and 9. Now here on 3rd and 9, what you're going to get is you're going to get a little hitch out here on the outside. You're going to get an out from the inside slot receiver, and then you're going to see Smith's running a fade from the middle slot. Jones puts it up, and he puts it right on him for a touchdown, and Smith drops the ball for it, and so they aren't able to convert. Good job of getting the ball up quick. There's, definitely bringing pressure. So he's got the one-on-one coverage out there, and he puts it right on the hands of the receiver who isn't able to bring it in. You're going to see all the pressure coming up the middle. Puts it on his hands, and he drops it. So in this series here, you had the flood route out to the left side where he had the big shot that he underthrows slightly. So instead of having the completion for a big gain right there, you end up with a pass interference instead that keeps it going. You see the throwaway on the 3rd pass attempt, a little RPO slant. You get the defensive holding, so that gives you another 1st down. A good job on the bench route of making up and getting about 7 yards, and then he has the touchdown pass again on 3rd and 9, and you end up with a drop. So instead of being up 7-0, they get the field goal. It's 3-0 as they start the 2nd possession of the game. And they'll start off here with a couple of runs on 1st and 2nd down. And that's going to set them with 3rd and 1. Nice 8-yard gain on 1st down, or actually about a 9-yard gain. Then on 2nd and 1, they get stopped for no gain. 3rd and 1, they're going to try to run a sneak. It's going to be a bad snap. I'm not sure if it's a bad snap or if Jones just drops it. The fact that the ball ends up behind him would lead me to believe that the only way that it's going to get there is if it doesn't actually hit his hands on the way up. But there's no way to confirm that visually. So then they're left with, but the nice part is when that ball does come out, the running back picks it up and runs it for a first down. Now here you're gonna get the motion across. This tight end, the motion tight end is going to end up blocking. You're going to get deep post out here from both receivers. This tight end is going to run about 10 yards, maybe a little shallower, and he's going to run it inside. They're going to run play action in the backfield, and you're going to see a deep shot down the right side to the outside. Overthrown, it's thrown into coverage. There's really nobody open. This one's kind of similar to the earlier overthrow. You know, he's taking a shot. He's going to give his receiver a chance to make the play. You know, the safety here is kind of sitting in the middle. This is a pretty tight window. He doesn't have the arm to drive this ball in here, so it's got to put the air underneath it. And you throw this one high and over everybody. It's thrown to the right spot as far as the receiver, but it's high and out there so that it doesn't take the risk of putting it into position to be a turnover. Then you get 2nd and 10, and there'll be a running play to set up 3rd and 9. Little running play only gains them a yard. On 3rd and 9, 3rd and 10 right here, quick pressure. Not really able to get into it because by the time he hits his back foot, he's having to start to move. As he's going down, he flips it out to the running back, and they're not able to gain any yardage, and they're going to end up having to punt. The pressure's too quick. Mac Jones almost always wants to step up into the pocket when he has pressure. You see that there. Mississippi State's done a nice job of keeping their rush lanes and really filling it up so there's more for him to step up into. He's able to see his running back and get it out to him as he's stepping up. You see a lot of times with Jones, when he's stepping up, he's keeping his eyes down the field. This time you can actually see the pressure's coming. His eyes drop. It doesn't happen very often with him. It happens there as he's starting to go down. He's able to get it out to his running back, though, and at least save a little bit of yardage, but they're still going to end up punting. Next possession starts off with a run again. Nice run for a first down. On the next play here on 1st and 10 again, it's going to be a nice game, but it gets called back because of a hold. When we watch this one from the end zone view, you'll see the hold right here by 65. He's grabbing number 2. That's where the flag comes in. So instead of having another first down, Alabama ends up with 1st and 18. Now here they're in their bunch. You're going to get a couple of in routes there with an out, and he's got the out wide open to Smith, and this is a poorly thrown ball. It's just not accurate. It's behind him. They're just trying to get a little bit of that yardage back that they lost on the penalty. Try to make it a little bit more manageable. 2nd down situation, and it's just a poorly thrown ball. Then here on 2nd and 18, you're going to get a fake screen out to the right. They're going to fake the little bubble screen to the receiver, and then come back the other way with the running back screen. Good play by the offense, as well as a good play by the defense. 40 does a really nice job of coming up through and be able to track that across and making the play. Does a good job here. They miss him, and he's able to break through the lineman They miss him. They don't pick him up, and he comes through and makes a nice tackle to set up third and 9. Third and 9, you get this nice little curl out to the left side. If we watch this one again from the L22, you get the curl down here at the bottom, and at the top you've got a little slant from these two guys, and then the outside receiver is running about 5 yards in, and he's kind of your safety valve. So if this curl's covered, you're going to work back through the middle to the back side. Jones gets to his back foot, the curl's open, sticks it on him. Nice pitch and catch there to Devontae Smith. And they're able to pick up the first down. Now they got 1st and 10 at the 35. You're going to see a little double move to the bottom of the screen. This is a called shot play. They're going to be working down here. Quick pump, and the ball gets out of his hand fast, and he puts it out in front of him this time. Easy touchdown. Those are the kind of deep shots really for Jones that really are in his wheelhouse, or the ones that are about 25 to 30 yards downfield. And you start getting into that 40, 50 yard range. That's max. That's about max with his arm strength. But if you can hit these verticals quick, these little quick, double moves that are, the double moves that are a little bit closer to the line of scrimmage, or your leaks that are coming out like you see with the 49ers, what they've been able to run the last couple of years. He's money on those balls regularly. So it's a nice one for a touchdown there. Good job getting the ball down the field. On 1st and 10, you're going to get play action, and we're going to see an over route. You see this quite a bit. You got the vertical running the post. They do this. They like to do this quite a bit. So this guy's going to. You get the vertical route here. The over's coming from the bottom of the screen. It's pretty well covered. He goes down to the check down. Really nice play by the defense to rally up and make the tackle. They do a good job here of kind of sitting in their zones and forcing the check down and being in good position to make the play. Watch it again. We're going to the deep route from the outside, the cross, and then the flat. There's the motion play I was talking about earlier. It's the correct read, checks it down, short gain. On 2nd and 9, you're going to get this next play here. This is just going to be a little wide receiver screen out to the left side. Pretty well defended. Mechie doesn't get a very good block out on the edge, but the defenders do a pretty good job there of not allowing him to get up the field. Really good pursuit by the Mississippi State defense. You're on 3rd and 8. You're going to get a blitz out of the defense. What you're going to have is, I think this is Smith here at the bottom of the screen, and he's going to be running a wheel route at the bottom. He's actually the number 1 receiver in this situation, especially with the coverage. He gets the pump, he throws it to him, and he's able to hit it to him in stride and a touchdown. Mississippi State tries to bring a lot of pressure in this game, and you see Jones being able to beat that pressure with the pass over and over again in this game. This well picked up. He's got it. The last guy coming through has to get picked up by the running back, and he does. He's kind of pushed back into his lap a little bit. Gets the ball out of his hands quick enough, though, so that He's able to still kind of, even though Smith has to slow down slightly, it's not having to slow down as much as what we saw earlier. He's able to hit it for a touchdown. So after that touchdown, they come back the next possession. They're going to have, it's going to be 1st and 10 on the 41. Mississippi State's going to bring a blitz again. And this time, Alabama's going to beat it with a deep corner. So when we look at this one, this is Smith here. He's going to run basically, I think they call it a rail route. So he's running inside, up, and then to the corner. You got the other receiver running an out. There's nobody out here though to stop the corner. And he does a good job of getting this ball out and out in front of his receiver. And he sticks it right on the sideline. Really nice ball. Really like that. When you're throwing this deep corner route, there's been a lot of these a lot of times when we've been watching these films with these guys where I've said, at this point you've got him open. That's why he's starting to throw the ball. And you just look at all the real estate that he has to work with. He's got all the way from the hash to the sideline. There's nobody over here. Just get the ball out here somewhere. Let him run to the ball and make the play. And that's what Jones does. He doesn't. It's not like he's sticking this on him with a ball that's on the line. He's just putting this ball up high, letting his receiver go make a play. Run to it, run away from the defender. When that ball's thrown, those two guys aren't that far apart. The separation comes once the ball's in the air. It's because of where he throws it. If he throws that ball up the field more, that defender is going to be able to possibly stay with it. He's really throwing that ball away from the defender into the void. And he sticks it on him allows him to run underneath it and make the catch. Yeah, a lot more vertical aspects to Alabama's offense, passing offense here in this first half than what we've seen. They come back from that with a little wide receiver screen out here to the right, pick up a nice little gain. So just as I talk about the more vertical passing game in this one, they come right back with a little screen. They use the screen just like the 49ers do with Shanahan. They just use it as an extension of their running game. They're getting their receivers involved with it. And then a couple of runs here, and they score another touchdown. So that's one of the things, with Mac Jones, and is, he's going to be deadly accurate against you if you sit back and you play zone. If you decide that you're going to go ahead and come after him with a blitz, he's got the receivers and the ability to make the plays in the passing game against the blitz as well. You're going to see some other movement out of him as we go through this. I think on right here, I think there's a little bit of there's some film missing because all of a sudden this is listed as 3rd and 6 at the 6-yard line. So I think we missed some of this drive that gets them down to the goal line. But here you're going to get the motion into the bunch. From the bunch formation, you're going to get that little rail route out of Smith. He's going to run in. He's going to run up just about the goal line here, and he's going to go to the corner. It's a really tight mesh. The tight end's going to take an outside release, and he's going to hook up right at the goal line, and this receiver here is going to run into the flat. You're going to get pressure again up right at him. Jones kind of speeds himself up a little bit more than he has to, so he starts throwing this ball early to the curl, to the tight end who's still engaged with the defender. Ball comes out, and it's a little low. He's not able to gather it in. On this one, I would have liked to have seen Jones just step up right here, because if he just steps up slightly, he kind of speeds himself up a little bit more than he needs to. If he just steps him up to about right here, He's going to have Smith open in the corner. He gets a little bit of help there because Smith gets a little bit of help in getting open because you've got the this corner sees the ball coming out early, and so he lets him go. But I think even if that doesn't happen with this bunch right here, I think this guy's going to get bumped off, and you're going to have Smith over in the corner. So I would have liked to have seen him maybe hold on to the ball just a little bit longer to throw that corner to the pylon. Either way, it's not a negative play. It's actually pretty decent. He gives his tight end a chance to make it. Gets the ball out and misses the misses it. They kick the field goal again. So now we're sitting at 1st and 10. Next possession, and we're going to see a couple of running plays to start off here. So I'm going to fast forward through those. 1st and 10, they get an 8-yard carry up the middle. And then here on 2nd and 2, they're going to lose a yard. So it sets them up on 3rd and 3. Here on 3rd and 3, what we're going to get is you're going to get down here on the bottom of the screen. These two receivers are going to run outs here. Little short out from this receiver. This guy's going to go a little bit deeper and out. On the backside, you're going to get crosses. The inside receiver is going to run to about 10 yards and a cross. The inside receiver is going to run the shallow cross. Watch Jones. You're going to see him reading out here to the right side. It's pretty well covered. He comes back to the backside, and he's going to hit the drag for a completion and a 1st down. Shoot. All right, I didn't skip past the 2nd run. Got ahead of myself a little bit. Like I said, you're going to get short out, deep out, cross. Reads the right side, comes back to the check down and hits it for a 1st down. He wants to go out right. If he feels a little bit of pressure here with his timing gets sped up a little bit because of the blitz. He sees the blitz come in. What's happening on this blitz is it's almost like a zone blitz, but they're not running zone in the backside. So what you're going to see is these two guys are going to come. The defensive end's going to drop, I believe. Yeah. So that speeds up his process a little bit. So that means he wants to get the ball out quicker, and he's able to get it here. If he sits on that a little bit, he's got the deeper route here that's open. On this one, he wants to get his ball out quick because he's got the blitz coming. Speeds up his process right, looks back to the left, finds his drag. Receiver does the work, gets the 1st down. Not too bad. And then we're going to do a couple of running. We're going to get a false start here. And then we're going to see a couple of running plays on 1st and 2nd down. Actually, the next 4 plays are going to be running plays, but I want to stop it on the third down play. So here on 1st and 15, they get a nice gain, sets up 2nd and 7, nice 8-yard run on 1st down, 1st and 15. Then on 2nd and 7, another nice little run for 5. It's going to set them up with 3rd and 2. Sorry, I'm just kind of talking to myself because I know what's coming up on. Here we got Alabama in a 3rd and 2, and they're going to run. They're going to go ahead and they're going to run quarterback read with Mac Jones. I think it's kind of funny, but he actually runs this pretty well. What blows this play up is Devontae Smith doesn't make his block out here on the cornerback. If Smith gets his block, this is a 1st down. Defensive end steps down because who thinks Mac Jones is going to run the ball? He starts getting out there. The block's not made. And then he just tries to jump over the top and isn't able to get there. Watch it from the end zone. Remember, his read is this guy right here. That's who he's reading. He dives down with it. So that means he's got to kind of widen it out because he's got to get away from this guy. He's widening. And if this cornerback isn't here, I think you're going to see him be able to at least get a couple of yards, and he's going to get the first down. I still find it funny. I just find it funny that they're running the quarterback read with him. He can do it if it's all blocked up really well. He's not going to bust it for a long game, but it would have been there. And then here on 4th and 1, they try to run it with Harris, and they end up. Looks like he makes it, but he actually is short. His knee hits the ground before he falls forward at the end of the run. So they end up with having to punt the ball there. So far, it hasn't been too bad of a game for Mac Jones, really. He's been able to hit pretty much everything as far as those deeper routes. Even though he's a little underthrown on that first deep one. They come back here on this next possession with a couple of runs to start it off. Play action. They're going to be going vertical. You're going to have this guy out here running he's going to kind of run out and up a little bit. This guy's going to be running the deep post. You've got the cross coming from the tight end. He runs in and then goes to the corner. This is a bad read by Mac Jones. This should be an interception. He gets away with it. Smith does a really nice job of knocking this ball down, but this is a bad throw. This isn't open at any point. When he hits his back foot, this guy's covered, so he should be hitching up. He should be seeing that this is covered. He should then go to number 2 in the middle of the field, which should be covered, and then he should come across to number 3, which is the corner to the tight end, and that's where the ball should be thrown. Instead, he takes the deep shot out here to the left side to a guy that's well covered. Even though this DB is inside with his back to the receiver, he's got his eyes on the quarterback because they're in zone, so he can see what's happening. And he's in good position to just fade back. And he should be able to pick that off, but the receiver does a good job. Again, this is a bad read by Jones. This one, as you're watching this one, he's got his eyes on it now. Covered. Ball should go here. He just needs to hold on to it a little bit longer than he does and go through his progression, and he doesn't. Bad read, bad throw. Gets a break. Stares it down the whole way. Not a good rep at all. Second and 10, we'll see a little wide receiver screen here to the left side. Does a nice little job getting up underneath his blocking. He's going to give him a gain of 4, which will set him up on 3rd and 6. This is a nice one though. So you had the bad throw on first down, really bad read. You come off of that, now you're coming out here. What you're going to get is they're going to be working. This is the guy that they want to put into conflict. And what they're going to do is they're going to run a little out route with the most inside receiver and the trips on the right side here. The next guy in, he's going to run an in route. He's going to run to about 10 and in. And out here on the far side, he's going to run vertical. Mississippi State doesn't have anybody deep. Kind of shows you that this is going to be is a tip off. that it's going to be man. You see this linebacker starting to step up. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys basically in the box looking like they're all going to come. That tips off the quarterback early here that this should be man. And it is, except for they drop one defender back. And the ball goes right into him. As far as my read there, I was looking at the next, what we're going to see on the next play. But you're going to get the pressure, man across. This guy, instead of coming, he's going to drop into the zone, into his little cover. He's basically covering area. He's the one guy that's just, he's trying to take away the slant, but they still beat him anyway. They're trying to drop him right into that little kind of curl, hook slant area. And Jones does a good job of going off to the next guy and hitting it for a gain. So here's the one that I was describing on the previous one. Sorry, I got ahead of myself. So this is where they're going. They're going to read this linebacker here on this one. You're going to get an out with a you're going to get an out with an in out of this guy. Mechie's going to run a go. You can see Jones, his eye is right here. He goes to the out route. 18 sneaks in behind him, and Jones does a really nice job of sticking that on him in a tight area right behind him, and he fits that one in there. Nice ball. Kind of protects the receiver there, sticks it right on him. Doesn't have to, he's able to just catch it and make the play. So that was a really nice one. And then we're going to see a bunch of runs here, 3 in a row. Run on first down for only 3. Kind of a little bobble in the backfield. Nice run up the middle here. The offensive line just keeps pushing them through, so they get a first down. And then you're going to get on 1st and 10. They're going to run the ball again here and pick up another first. So they're moving along pretty nice on the ground. And then they're going to decide that they want to throw here on 1st and 10. You're going to see pressure coming pretty quick. Play action. You're going to see pressure all around them. Jones does a good job for a statue of being able to get out and move and pick up another first down. They're trying to roll him out a little bit to the left. But the front for Mississippi State in this game is very aggressive. Play action moves him. Stops. Nobody's really open. Gets a lot of pressure. He might have this guy out here. Jones takes off and gains about 12 before he hits the deck. There's definitely some sarcasm in my voice when I say that he moves pretty well for a statue. You just continually hear people talk about his inability to move, and I just really have to question how much they've actually watched the game Mac Jones play. This isn't anything that's not on pretty much every film, every game from 2020 with Mac Jones. There's almost always something where he's having to move, where he's got pressure, and he's either having to move and scramble like this, or you see him moving within the pocket. This comes back from, really, this goes back to his, I think a lot of this goes back to his tennis days. In tennis, you've got to be quick, lateral movement. You can't play tennis and not be able to move side to side. You see that with him often. He doesn't have that straight line speed of Justin Fields or Trey Lance. He's 0.2 of a second slower than Lance in a 40, and he's 0.4 of a second slower than Justin Fields, but when it comes to movement in the pocket, ability to field pressure and make plays, he's better than both of them. And it's just, it is what it is. If you could add, if you could put Justin Fields' arm strength on Mac Jones, you'd have a guy that would be going number 1 in the draft, in my opinion. So then after that, they got a little run here. That's going to set them up with 2nd and 7. It's going to be a pass here. Pre-snap, you start to see the safety starting to peak. You get the motion over here. Just before the ball starts, just as the ball starting to snap, this linebacker, you see him start to step. So you know you're going to be getting a blitz or some kind of pressure. And they stick it in for a touchdown. The safety is in the middle of the field. The only guy that's kind of going to take away this post is right here, number 12. But he's going to be manned up with the tight end. As you see, that's right here, as it starts to roll through. And as soon as he steps down, there's no one that's going to be able to cover the post. And Jones does a good job getting the ball out of his hands against pressure and sticking in the end zone for a touchdown. Again, Mac Jones isn't going to beat you with his feet in terms of running the ball for a touchdown 45 yards down the field, 50 yards down the field. He's going to beat you with his feet to move to make throws, and then he's going to beat you with his arm because he knows where the majority of the time, he's going to be consistent enough to know where he needs to go with the ball and get it there. That's the difference. That's what sets him apart from the other two. And then they come out here on the next possession with this little swing screen out to the right side. Luke asks, most of Jones' progression reads seem to flow left to right. Is this unique to Jones, or do most offenses balance that more? I think you're right. I think there is quite a bit of times where you see him going left to right, but there's definitely some times where you see him going the other direction, right to left. I just think it partially depends on where they are on the field. So I think that's what's happening there. And then also Luke mentions Montana played tennis too. Yeah, he did. Definitely I don't think he was at the level of, when you talk about tennis with Mac Jones, it's really funny because his whole family were tennis players. His dad was a professional tennis player at a very high level. So was his mother. So he's got the genes, the tennis genes from his parents. So that's where the athleticism and some of this comes from. And then the fact that you have a mom and a dad who are both tennis pros, that's going to get him on the tennis court as a young kid. So from an early age, he's been doing this lateral movement. So then taking that onto the football field, it's just natural for him with that side to side, being able to manipulate the pocket, move his feet quick, get the ball out, and that kind of thing. So it's definitely a part of his game that people I think are underappreciating is his ability to move around in the pocket and make plays with his feet when he needs to. And the reason they underappreciate it is because they see Justin Fields ripping off a 45-yard run or Trey Lance doing the same thing or running through people. And that's really it. And he's not that. He's a pocket passer that can move and get himself out of trouble when it's called for. Little swing out there to the left there. So they've done that a couple of times. Now this next play we're going to see, I just got done talking about Jones and his movement ability. They got 3rd and 3 here. You're going to see a zone blitz on the inside, but they're going to be manned up across the board elsewhere. They almost don't cover this correctly. The corner gets out there late, but you're going to see these two guys come up. Jones is going to want to hit. He's going to want to hit this little in route right here, but it's going to be covered because as these guys are blitzing, this defensive end is going to drop back. Remember earlier we saw them do that where they blitzed and they were able to hit the in route behind it. This time the in route's a little bit further outside, and so he's able to get into the lane. Jones is going to try to take off to his right. Nothing's open as he moves out here, and the guy's able to trip him up for a loss, and they sack him. They do get to him on this one. So again, as you watch this one, he wants to hit what he wants to do is because he sees the pressure. So he wants to get that speeds it up. So now he's going to want to go a little bit shorter. He's going to want to go to 18 right here. This guy's dropped back instead of dropping out sideways like they did on the first one. On the first time when they did this guy dropped out like at an angle out here. This time he's going to pretty much fall straight back. When he falls back, he falls right into the area that in route's going to be going to. Jones can't throw it. Now he's got to move. None of the receivers are moving or getting uncovered. He has no one to throw it to. And the defensive end does a nice job of diving and tripping him up for the sack. It's well covered. And he gets tripped and falls down. We're getting towards the end of it here. There's only going to be 2 more series with Jones in the game. Run here on first down sets up this for a gain of 2. Yeah, to set up a 2nd and 8. Then on a 2nd and 8, they get a false start, so they get 2nd and 13. Now you're going to see some pressure come, and they're going to be trying to get that. They're going to be trying to hit that over route again, coming across from right to left. You get the motion. There's your play fake. You get the vertical out here. This guy's coming across. You're going to see really good pressure coming off the right side, though. So he's going to try to hit that over early. He just kind of lays that one up, and he's lucky that this one doesn't get picked. Should have been an interception. The defender stops his feet instead of just continuing running through. If that safety is able to get his feet moving, this is a pick and going the other way. He's just trying to hit. He's trying to beat the pressure by getting it out earlier than he wants to, than he normally would, and he just puts it too far out in front of him. You can see that he kind of takes a little bit off it because usually that ball comes out with a little bit more zip on it there. And he just throws this one up, and it's a bad throw, kind of a bad decision. He wants to get it there, understand what he's doing. It's just too far out in front of him. It's just inaccurate, and he gets lucky that 19 drops it. Then they come back here. They're going to try to. It's going to be a little play action. They're going to try to go deep. Well covered downfield, gets pressured again, steps up into the pocket, and the only guy that's open is his check down. He hits him. Yeah, they're end up short, so they're going to end up having to punt. So on that little possession right there, just got lucky on the one throw. Nearly, should have been a pick. It's not a good ball. You can see what he's trying to do with getting it out there early, and he gets lucky. Here they're backed up. They get a nice run here on first down, but they're going to get a hold. So it gets called back. You see the hold right there by 85 on number 7. Just grabs him and pulls him. That's how the running back's able to get outside. So now they're going to be backed up to their goal line, definitely on their goal line now. And they're going to run a quick wheel route out here to Devontae Smith. A good pass right here. He's not. When you watch this one from the end zone, you're going to see he's not really able to step into it very well because he has the pressure coming off of the edge. He doesn't really step into it, doesn't really get everything into it. We know that he can throw the ball out further than that if he really gets into it. Underthrows it, and instead of this being a 99-yard touchdown, which it should have been, it ends up having to be a tight catch for Smith. So, really not the best ball. Gets a break here. He has time to not have to rush it and maybe hitch up, a little bit more so that he can get into it. Like I said, we've seen him throw this route before and be able to put it out there to about 45, 50 yards down the field, instead of right here where he only gets it to about 40. So, underthrown. Nice catch. Gets them out of the shadow of their own goal line. But it would have been nice to have seen a better ball right there to get him into the end zone. Those are the kind of catches that, in the NFL, with the NFL DBs, Brandon Aiyuk is going to have a hard time possibly with that catch. That's most likely who that would be. He's usually the guy that goes down the field for him instead of Deebo Samuel. Deebo Samuel is really more of the possession type of receiver. I see your questions, Luke. I'm going to get to both of those because I think they're both good, and we'll get to it. Just a couple more pass plays here, though, so let me fast forward through. You got the run there, then you're going to get they got a 1st and 10 right here, so there's just going to be a little screen. They put the running back out here as wide receiver, throw him a screen, pick up 4 yards. Then they get a bunch of running plays here in a row. 3 of them. That's the Alabama version of the Wildcat where they just kind of slide over one spot. No need to put Jones out at wide receiver. He's not going to fake anybody out there anyway. So we're starting the 4th quarter now. They're way up. 1st and 10 here, we're going to get a run. Mississippi State's going to do a pretty good job against it and stop it for only a gain of 2. Sets them up with 2nd and 8. Going to get good pressure here on the blitz. They're going to be trying to get down the field again. It's well covered downfield. He sees it quick and he drops it off, and then Harris does a really nice job of breaking through and spinning out and picking up some positive yards and setting them up with a 1st and 10. The good part about this is he sees it quick. He realizes right away he's not going to have that, either any of the deep stuff. It does a good job of dropping it down, and Harris does a really nice job of making the first guy miss, getting upfield, and getting that 1st down. So then they get to here. They get 1st and 10. They're gonna go. This is a formation when they get into this. Here's the running back right here. This is, remember earlier in this series, they lined up in this formation and threw the screen out here to the running back. So now they bring him out here again. They're going to fake the screen to him this time, though, and they're going to have the tight end take off down the sidelines on a vertical. You see all the fake. This is a nice ball. Tight end almost gets it. You get the pass interference. The only reason it's in it but one thing that stops this play is the DB grabs the inside arm of the tight end. But as you watch this, you see these guys. Everything about this looks like the screen, the way that they're blocking and everything, and then the tight end takes off up the sideline. Really nice play. It's a nice ball by Jones. He puts it on the money. The tight end just isn't able to get his right arm out to try to make the catch. He's held by the tight end, and so they get the call. That sets them up at 1st and goal at the 10, and then they're going to run an RPO, and he sticks it in to a tight window for a touchdown, and that'll be his last play of the game. Nice tight red zone throw, just a run pass option, and he sticks it in that hole. Really nice to finish it off, and that's the end of the game. You see him stick it in there, that little hole. Really nice throw. So let's take a look at these questions that Luke had asked. I said I'd get to him. We're done with Mac Jones. He's out of the game now. They brought in the kid that's going to be the starter this year for him, most likely. Luke says, I have no problem with Jones' body type, but I wonder if his feet would be even more nimble if he had dropped 5 or 10 pounds. I think if you watch it, I think he's actually lost a little bit of weight. It definitely looks like he's been working out. So, he's got his his workout videos are out there. You start to see these at this time of the year, all the workout hype videos. So yeah, I mean, I think that could be a possibility that he might be a little bit more nimble there. I mean, he ran a 4.840 at the combine, or not the combine, but at his pro day. That's pretty darn good. That's actually the same 40 time as what you saw from Patrick Mahomes. The difference really, and you see Mahomes works the pocket really good for as great as he is when he has to move around. Mahomes can make the play from the pocket consistently. And that's what separates him from everybody else, is that his ability to make the plays from inside the pocket, and then he has that escapability on the back end. And then when he makes those escapes, he has the arm strength to make it. When you watch Mac Jones, he's got the escapability portion of that to a certain extent. He's nowhere near. I'm not trying to say he's at that same level as Mahomes, so don't quote me as saying that. But he definitely has the ability to move around. He just doesn't have the arm strength once he gets to moving to be able to throw the ball 45 or 50 yards downfield. But once he moves and he has to, he's able to hit 15 to 20 yards downfield pretty solidly if he needs to, or pick up those gains with a run. The second question was, how would I rate this game versus Jones' other games that I've evaluated so far? This is it's a interesting game. I think it's actually pretty decent. They're definitely going downfield more often than in some of those other ones. There's just a couple of throws that I would have liked to have seen him hit, really, that I had problems with. There was like really 3 of them. And those are the early throw on the play action on the deep route down the left sideline early in the game that they get the play pass interference on. That's one that he's got to get that one out there further. He throws that ball's as far as he's going to throw it, though. I haven't seen any of his film where he's able to get the ball more than 50 yards downfield at any point. So, and he's throwing that ball from the opposite hash. If that ball's in the middle of the field, maybe he's got the arm strength to put that, that maybe that's the difference of the yard or two that needs to be out in front of the receiver to make that a bigger play. But as it stands from where he threw it and whatnot, I would have liked to see him to get that ball out there a little bit better. The other one was when they were backed up that first and 11 or whatever it was at the goal line. That wheel route to Smith, he's got to hit that one better. That should be a completion where Smith's not having to jump and make a great catch at that. That should have been one that he's able to hit, and Smith is running down the sideline. So would have liked to have seen him hit both of those. The fact that he's actually taking those shots is important, though, because that's not something we really saw out of Garoppolo. During his time with the 49ers, he doesn't really take those shots down the sidelines very often, unless they're called for. So that deep one on that first play of the second pass play of the game, that's not one we typically would see from Garoppolo. He would have thrown to the out or the flat on the left side instead of taking that deep shot. So that's a difference. So, and then the third one that I had some concern with was the over route where he's got the pressure trying to get the ball out. That's one that's that he's got to clean up. That's, if you want to make that throw, you got to stick it on there. You can't really just kind of toss that ball up hoping the receiver is going to get there, especially into a crowded space. If you're going to do that and it's wide open towards the sidelines or something like that, that's great. But when you've got everybody around you, kind of putting that ball into that space where you've got the ability for a safety to drive on the ball and pick it off and take it for a touchdown, you got to see that a little bit better, I think, before you throw it. So, that's on this one. I would say this performance was probably a solid, 85%. Definitely, I'd say it's a B. It's above average to just under, in that probably 85% range. I wouldn't go as far as 90 to say it's excellent as an A, but I'd give him an 85, if a B plus. I think on this next one here, what you're saying is Jimmy seems to be better at, I think you're saying line of sight throws. I think that's what you're saying there. And I would say that would be correct. He definitely needs to see it. He doesn't want to take those deep shots. So, but overall, this was a pretty good game for Jones. You definitely saw more of a vertical passing game, more of a consistently than what we've seen in some of his little ones. Yeah. So there we go. Yeah. Line of sight. I agree. That's Garoppolo's got to see it. That's really kind of the difference sometimes with him and where the comparisons between him and Mac Jones kind of fall off a little bit is that Jones sees the play happening before. Typically, you'll see where the receiver is going to be and be able to hit the ball and start getting that ball out sooner than what what we see of Garoppolo so far. Let's see. DK asks, what is Mac's worst game that I've evaluated? I don't know yet. I would say probably of the games so far we've gone through, this was the 6th game of the season. So all 6 of those games have been done, plus the national championship game I did over on Grant Cohn's YouTube channel. I would say probably that the toughest game of his that I've evaluated so far was the one that I did last night, which was his game against Tennessee. That Tennessee game, at the end of that one last night, I said I would have probably given him about a 75%, about a C grade for that one. There were some good things overall, but I also saw some things that I didn't like on that one. So I gave him a C in that one. So I'd say if you go back and you watch that video from last night that I posted today, that would be the one that so far has been the roughest one for Mac Jones. So I really appreciate you guys joining and asking the questions. That's really fun to come out and be able to not only go through this, but also go through and talk to you guys a little bit, with the questions that you have. Appreciate that, and then Luke again, I heard Jones pre-snap reads are very quick too. Yeah, you're seeing that. That's 100% agree with you. You see that quite often. That's why I think that's part of why the ball comes out so much quicker with him, is that he's seen what the defense is doing, and based off of that, he's able to quickly process what coverage he thinks he's going to see, and then he's able to identify that as soon as the ball snapped. He's able to recognize very quickly if his pre-snap read was correct, and then if it's not, adjust to it and what have you. I think that's really, I really think that's what you're seeing there. So, just I hope you guys liked what you saw. Like Luke says here, thanks for reminding me to say that. If you like what you see and you're not already a subscriber to my channel, please go ahead and subscribe to that. Definitely make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit the bell so that you see every time I go live. I'm going to be trying to go live at least once a day right now, with trying to get through all the Mac Jones film. And then once I'm done with that, I'm going to start to try to put some breakdowns and comparisons of these guys throwing similar concepts or watching them throw against pressure, to really kind of drill down into some of the analysis that I've been given on these films, because there's been a lot of it. And I think it gets lost when you try when you start talking about the different quarterbacks and people haven't seen them all thrown together. So that'll be something that I'll be trying to put down the road. Do I think that Jimmy is better than Jones at anything? Because I don't even think it's close and don't get the comparisons. You know what? I wouldn't say that. I don't think that Garoppolo is better than him at anything. Especially at this point in his career. If we go back to 2017, and you watched Garoppolo in 2017, you saw a lot more mobility from Garoppolo. You saw him being able to move around, similar to what we see from Mac Jones. But at the same time, if you go back and you watch 2017 Jimmy, you see a lot of balls, a lot of plays that are getting made where he's putting the ball up for grabs and his receivers are going and making plays. You see some of that with Mac Jones here as well, right? Where he's throwing those deep balls and he's getting bailed out by receivers going up and making the catch. I remember after the 2017 season, writing an article. I think it was for 49ers Radio at the time, basically stating that you had to be careful with what you were getting from Garoppolo, and was he going to be able to repeat that 2017 performance moving forward into 2018? Because there were a lot of his bigger plays were kind of ad lib, toss the ball up, and he was getting the breaks there. And that stuff always usually seems to come around and catch up with you. So that's the one concern with Jones and some of his deep balls coming up short that I'd be concerned with. But I haven't really seen him throwing those balls up for grabs where it's just like, he starts to scramble around and then he just throws the ball up in the air and he hopes that his receiver is able to make a play. We saw that if you watched the Indiana game of Justin Fields, you saw plays where the play starts to break down, he starts running around, and then he just throws the ball up, and on one of them it's a pick. The second, it's late in the game, they're bringing pressure off the left side. They're running a dagger concept, which the 49ers run all the time, and Mac Jones in Alabama run. And they got the one guy going up vertical, and then you get a dig behind it. They're bringing pressure off the left side. It gets blocked up, and instead of just throwing the dig, for whatever reason, Fields decides that he wants to take off. He starts to step up to his right to run. They kind of grab him. At that point, he kind of backs up and starts moving around, and then he throws the ball up in the air. The safety picks it off and starts running it back, gets hit and fumbles it. So that's the kind of stuff that we saw from Garoppolo at times as well. Or even in the Super Bowl, there was the one point with Garoppolo where he's in the pile, in the backfield. He's going to get sacked, and instead of just taking the sack, he tries to throw it up. And I guess he's trying to throw it away. I'm not sure. And it gets picked off, and that's what leads to the first points of the game for Kansas City. So those are the things that I haven't seen any of that out of Mac Jones. I've seen it out of Justin Fields, and I haven't seen it out of don't remember seeing it out of Trey Lance in the games that I did of his. So that's why I am there. Another one from Luke. With Jones, the hope for improvements would be pocket feel, long, and touch passes, consistency, and a better interception and touchdown ratio. I get, that's what you're looking for, right? You're hoping if the pick is Mac Jones over Jimmy Garoppolo, that's exactly what you're looking for. You're looking for a guy that can actually move around in the pocket, help out his offensive line. That if you go back and you watch the games from 2020 and you watch the majority of the criticism of the 49ers quarterbacks, whether it was Jimmy Garoppolo, Nick Mullins, CJ Beathard at the end of the season, nobody was really caring about that. But those two, the majority of the discussion was around how guys were open downfield and the quarterback's inability to move in the pocket was killing the offense. What you get out of Mac Jones is a guy that can see the field, can manipulate the pocket, and get those passes out. That's part of why I'm kind of bullish on him as being the guy that should be the pick over a guy like Justin Fields, who doesn't really see the ball very well, is more inconsistent from the pocket, and he's inconsistent from the pocket, doesn't really see the field all that well. Those are the biggest things that the 49ers had trouble with in 2020. That's what Justin Fields brings to the table outside of his athleticism. And Mac Jones gives you an upgrade from that, and he has more athleticism than any of the quarterbacks on the 49ers roster in 2020. So with that being said, I really appreciate, everybody who's joined. There's the three of you out here, Luke and DK and District 13. You guys have all been on here, and I really enjoy the back and forth of this. Maybe what we'll do is at some point here as we get towards the end of it, maybe I'll get crazy and throw out the link, and we can do a back and forth conversation about this stuff too, and you guys can ask questions, or we can do it kind of like what some of the other fellows are doing with their phone and shows. That'd be kind of fun too. So again, appreciate everybody joining. Anybody that's watching this, thanks for sticking around for an hour and 10 minutes on a Saturday or whatever day you actually get to this. Really appreciate it, and hope you enjoy the content. We'll definitely be back at you all soon. Have a great day, everybody.